The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hey, good afternoon, sports fans, and welcome to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad that you've tuned in, and as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. This segment brought to you by Great Southern Bank. Great Southern Bank with more than 100 locations in 6 states. Great Southern Bank. Understanding what really matters. Member FDIC. We'll start off talking a little softball here, although it's final week of high school football regular season. Games were played last night. Most of the games will be played tonight. There'll be a handful of games tomorrow, but also tomorrow is state quarterfinal softball action going on. And in Class 1 will be St. Elizabeth versus Marion C. Early. In one quarterfinal, Jamestown will take on Salisbury. La Plata will take on Bramer, and Gallatin will take on Jefferson Conception. In Class 2, softball, quarterfinal action, Chaffee will face Iberia. Lynn will face Ellsbury. Bowling Green will take on South Harrison, and Mid-Buchanan will face Carrollton. And in Class 3, softball quarterfinals, Lutheran South versus St. Francis Borgia. Winfield will take on Hallsville. Fatima will face Cassville. Oak Grove will face Savannah. And in Class 4, be Cape Notre Dame taking on Washington. Parkway West will face North Point. Elias Catholic will take on Camdenton. And Nevada will face Kearney. And in Class 5, Jackson will play Francis Howell. And then Francis Howell North will play Troy Buchanan. Willard takes on Blue Spring South, and Raymore Peculiar will face Liberty. Again, you're listening to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network. Hey, go to our YouTube page and like us on YouTube. You'll get updates anytime we're going to do anything live, anytime we post an interview, a show, or whatever it may be there at YouTube. There'll be notifications sent directly to your phone. So without further ado, we were talking about softball. Liuna, Labor's local 663 team of the week, Willard Tigers. Willard wins their first district championship in 10 years, almost to the date, 2013. So we caught up with Ashley Williams and 5 of her seniors, and we will play that for you now.
Chevy. It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective, and find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad that you have tuned in, and as always, Liuna Labor's Local 663 reminds us to drive safely in work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. Also presented by Great Southern Bank. Great Southern Bank with more than 100 locations in 6 states. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters. Member FDIC. We go to our Liuna Labor's Local 663 Team of the Week here for Week 9. Willard Lady Tigers softball, and head coach Ashley Williams is alongside, and 5 seniors. But Coach Williams, thanks for your time today.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Coach, 25-11 on the season, a district championship, 10 years to the date almost that the last district championship was won there at Willard. Tell us about the season overall.
Yeah, we had goals at the beginning like every team does, and we have those that we see every day at practice, and every game we strive to meet each of those goals, and turns out that of the ones we set, we met all but one. We had a goal to win conference, and unfortunately came up about a game short there. But other than that, we've met our goals, and so anything else we can do from here is just icing on the cake.
Take us through your district. You had Central there in the first round, and you handled them relatively easily. But your next 2 games were barn burners, a 16-inning game with Ozark, and then a 2-1 win over at Nixa. Kind of tell us a little bit about those two matchups.
Yeah, districts now is a lot different than districts 10 years ago. We have 18 districts. I know some have 10 teams, and to get through them, it's difficult, and which is why you get awarded a trip straight to quarterfinals. So we were lucky enough to get that one seed, which really helped having a kind of easier game that first round, a 1-8 matchup with Central. But what it didn't help with was having kind of a competitive game that got the jitters out. So we were a little nervous that second game with Ozark, committed quite a few defensive errors, but our bats stayed hot. We tried to stay right in there with them, and we're luckily able to come out on top. And then the championship was just a hard fought game. Pitchers duel, both pitchers threw really well, and we were lucky enough to scratch one across and then have a senior come up big that I have here that can tell you about it.
Very good. Now you've won, you're 5 in a row now on the season with Aurora and Morrisville, and then into the district tournament, which you won the 3 there. Now you've got Blue Spring South on Saturday tomorrow. What do you know about Blue Spring South?
We know what everybody else knows. They're a powerhouse, especially the last 4 or 5 years. Their senior class is extremely talented. A lot of D1 athletes that have committed. They can hit for power. They have great pitching. It's just a complete softball team. But I also know that we're a complete softball team. We got good pitching just like they do. We can hit the ball, and so we can give them a competitive game and hopefully stay in it to the end and give ourselves a shot.
You've got 5 seniors there alongside. Where do we start? And tell us a little bit about whoever you want to introduce first.
Yeah, we'll start on the end. I'll move this over. We'll start with Mia DeVault. She's a senior center fielder. She roams the outfield. She's been in that spot since she was a sophomore and does a really good job for us. Wave Mia. There you go.
Hi, Mia. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good. Tell us a little bit about your role on the team and what your responsibilities are.
Well, I just try to kind of lock down what happens in the outfield. Hannah obviously does really well on the mound, so we do what we can in the outfield to have her back.
What, as you come into this season, were there games on your schedule that you were looking particularly forward to playing? Whether it may be a rivalry game or it may be somebody on the other team?
I was looking forward to the Nixa game. I know a few of the girls, and they're always tough competition, but we knew we had a good chance this year, so I was excited for that game.
Being a senior, it has to be exciting to win a district championship. Tell us about you guys have won 68 games in the last 3 years, so you've had a lot of success. But tell us what it was like to win that district championship.
It was definitely very exciting. We were all super excited and glad it finally happened senior year and all worked out.
Very good. Well, Mia, congratulations on the district championship. Next, Coach.
We have Hannah Burks here. She is our senior. She's our pitcher. She'll be on the mound on Saturday against Blue Spring South. She threw the game on Monday against Nixa, and she is a UMKC commit for next year.
All right, Amber. How are you today?
It's Hannah.
Oh, Hannah. I'm sorry. Hannah, how are you today?
I'm good.
Tell us a little bit about what you do to kind of get prepared mentally and physically as you're heading into a game.
I kind of just talk with my pitching coach, Coach Waddy, and just like an approach of, how we're going to attack hitters, and what's the best way to attack hitters. She normally has that plan before games, especially bigger ones, but having her thought process with me makes it a lot easier mentally on the mound as well.
When you're in the circle during a game, what are you thinking about? Is it location? And it may depend on the hitter and where they are in the lineup or things like that. But what are you most concentrating on, location or maybe a certain pitch?
Honestly, I kind of just go into a mode of trusting Waddy with where Jazz is setting up my catcher, and I kind of just go into a mindset of I'm just going to hit my spot, and if I don't, I'm going to move on to the next pitch. But it's not really a mental thing, because if pitching is really mental. So if you kind of think about that a little bit too much, you kind of go into a downward spiral.
Hey, take us back from your standpoint, point of view, the 2-1 win over Nixa. What was that like? What was working really well for you? I know that's the second time you beat him this year, but what was working well for you?
Just location and spin. My changeup decided to show up in that game, which was really beneficial, especially because the first time we played him, it was not there at all. So I think just having that to keep hitters off balance and then just spinning the ball was really working out.
Very good. Well, Hannah, congratulations. And Coach mentioned you'd made your college decision. Tell us a little bit about that. What went into that decision?
Really just the plays and Division One softball is really competitive, so I was like really excited to that. I think UMKC's they're kind of rebuilding right now with the new head coach Kibi Stokes. So I think being able to go into a program and kind of be competitive as a freshman is really going to be exciting for me.
Congratulations on the district win and the Labors local team of the week.
Thank you.
Coach, who we have next?
We have Daniel Curtis, senior. She's our catcher. Second full year coaching at the varsity level and 2 full years with her here, so they've created quite the chemistry.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Tell us a little bit about your responsibilities, especially defensively, but your roles and responsibilities on the team.
I have to make sure that I know what all the rules are and that the field knows what the play is before it happens. And then another big responsibility is to make sure we get as many calls as we can. But it's not too hard with Hannah pitching, so.
Tell us a little bit about that relationship with an umpire. Have you been able to develop relationships with umpires and kind of feel them out and know, between innings where you can talk to Hannah about, hey, you're missing here, you're missing there. What's that relationship like between you and the umpire?
To me, it's more business because I figure out early on where their strike zone is, and then I move to where I have a better chance of getting a call, and then I tell Hannah, and then after if she misses a spot, I tell her when at that moment instead of in between innings, so she knows which pitch I'm talking about exactly.
Tell us a little bit about what you do, to get mentally and physically prepared for a game.
I try to do the same thing every game because I like a routine, and I just try to focus on the positives of what the game is going to be like and just feel the atmosphere that I know our town will provide us.
When you have an opportunity or need to go out to the circle and talk to the pitcher, what are those conversations like between you and Hannah?
I just try to calm her down, or or I just make sure she knows that she's got it and everything like that.
Very good. Well, hey, congratulations on the district championship, being part of the Lionel Labors Local 663 Team of the Week.
Thank you.
Coach, who do we have next?
Senior third baseman Allison Miller. She is responsible for the go-ahead home run against Monday, and then that would have been her 16th home run of the year. So she's had quite herself a good senior season.
Allison, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. All right, take us through that kind of a pitch by pitch, and through that at bat, and what was going through your mind. And did you know that it was gone when you hit it?
Yeah, so I actually didn't expect him to pitch to me that at bat. I didn't expect him to pitch me all game. I figured I'd just get walked, which happened. But yeah, that last at bat, I was just like, if I just see this pitch, just see each pitch that comes, and I saw that one, she kind of threw it inside middle pitch. And so yeah, when I hit it, I knew off the bat that it was out, but I didn't know if it was fair.
All right, were you trying to blow it fair?
I was running really fast. Made a speed route.
Tell us a little bit about, what you do to kind of get prepared for a game.
For me, I get really focused before games. Some of my teammates might say I get an RBF. And I'm not I don't make as many jokes before games, but mostly for me, it's just telling myself I can, and it's not the end of the world if I make a mistake and things like that.
When that last out was made, what went through your mind? You're a district champion. What are you thinking? And maybe who was the first person you got to?
It was relief. We had worked for that for a really long time. So I was just thankful. I was like, just 3 outs, and then we got that last out, and it was crazy. And the first person I went to actually was Reese. We've been best friends, and we're the duo on the left side, so it was exciting to share that with her.
Well, Allison, hey, congratulations on the district championship.
Thank you.
You bet. And Coach, who do we have next?
This is our last senior shortstop, Reese Anderson. She was second team All-State last season. She's had herself a heck of a senior year. She's our leadoff batter, kind of sets the table for us and holds us down defensively on the left side.
Reese, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Tell us a little bit about. Let's talk about the leadoff. You're the first batter. Coach mentioned you set the table. What are your goals there, especially the first at bat of a game? Are you trying to see as many pitches as you can? What kind of goes through your mind in that leadoff spot to lead off a game?
Yeah, so one of my main roles as the leadoff is to figure out the umpire strike zone, see where the pitcher's throwing, if he's calling it, and then my main personal goal is to get on base any way I can. So whether that's a walk, hit my pitch, base hit, that's my goal.
Now, being in the middle of the infield, there, on the left side at shortstop, is there a lot of communication that goes on between you and the second baseman or pitcher, or what? What's that communication like?
Yeah, so every pitch we try to communicate, whether it's like a bunt situation or if speeds on first, we try to talk about what could happen there, situation where we make a play. So we talk second base, third, into our outfield, and just prepared for the pitch.
So between now and tomorrow at noon, what are you going to do to kind of get prepared for this game with Blue Springs here in the quarterfinals?
I'm just going to focus on what I can control my mindset, try to stay calm. We obviously have a good group of girls, so get everyone excited for the game and do the best we can.
Congratulations, and thanks for being part of the show today. Today, right now, and tomorrow at noon, how are you getting prepared?
Sorry, I missed that first part.
I said, how are you getting prepared for that game tomorrow at noon?
Oh man. Myself and my assistants, Coach Bowling, Coach Waddy, we've kind of been constant communication, watching a lot of games online, trying to get these girls prepared at practice, but also trying to keep them calm and not put too much pressure on them. Just all the things that go into everyday coaching, plus some, and having to deal with the extra stuff like radio stuff. And it's fun. The community's excited. It's school's buzzing. It's just something that's neat that doesn't happen too often. So just trying to get everybody focused and ready for tomorrow.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, again, thank you so much for helping set this up, and congratulations on a district championship, a district title. And you guys, it's been a long time in coming, but you could see it. As I look at your schedule and your records every year, you just continue to get better and better and better. And congratulations, and thanks for being part of the show today.
Thank you. Appreciate having me.
You're watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The Walnut Street Inn is located in the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State Campus, Hammonds Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetinn.com or call 417-864-6346.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Here on high school game day, we're week 9 of the high school football season. It is the final weekend of our final regular season weekend of high school football in the state of Missouri. Some games that were played last night. Portageville now 8-1 as they defeat New Madrid County 43-0. New Madrid County, Central New Madrid County Central was 8-0 coming into that game, and Portageville kind of handles them. Central Park Hills defeats Farmington 47-21. It was Chaminade 48-37 over Lutheran St. Charles. Fort Zumwalt South defeats Francis Howell North 49-7. Sullivan over North County 40-14. Mound City defeats Stewartsville 58-12, and it was Ava over Willow Springs 73-0. And Wright City defeats Louisiana 52-28. Lots of noise here in the last 3 or 4 weeks about the conferences changing. It kind of began with the Big 8 schools on the east side of the Big 8 with Reed Spring, Hollister, and Springfield Catholic leaving the Big 8 East for the Mid-Lakes Conference. And then there's the cookies kind of started to crumble here in the last 10 days or 2 weeks, just with lots of conference realignments. There is a new conference now, the Ozark Mountain Conference, which started kind of with Branson. Kind of got the ball rolling there as Branson leaves the COC and they head to the Ozark Mountain Conference along with Carl Junction, Bolivar, and West Plains, also part of that new Ozark Mountain Conference. Now they've added some teams. It appears to be adding Springfield Parkview and Springfield Hillcrest to that group, so they drop out of the Ozark Conference. And rumor today was that Kickapoo and Glendale will replace Branson and Carl Junction in the COC. So now the Springfield schools are out of the Ozark Conference. You wonder why all these things are happening today, because a lot of conferences have it written that if you're going to leave the conference, you must do it before the last regular season football game, which is today. So I would assume that if Kickapoo and Glendale have decided indeed to leave the COC, that they've made that known today formally, maybe not publicly, but they have made it known today, at least to the remainder of the Ozark Conference, which probably will be no more. As you look today, I know Waynesville started looking for 10 basketball games for next season, trying to fill their schedules. They are will not be in the Ozark Conference. Now, where do they go when you look at the likes of Lebanon, Camdenton, Rolla, and Waynesville, all very far east side of the Ozark Conference? Do they go to Jeff City and maybe partner with a Helias or a Jeff City High School, or even into Columbia, and with Columbia Battle, Hickman? So there's opportunities out there, and I'm sure that the conference realignment and changes are not complete yet. I know Willard at one time was thinking about joining the Ozark Mountain Conference, but their school board voted to stay in the COC to fulfill their the final year of their schedule. Schedules are done on a 2-year basis, and next year will be the second year of that. So Willard deciding to, at this point, stay in the Ozark Conference. As you look at some of the big high school football games on the docket tonight, with regards to just the ranked teams that are playing games, kind of that who you got that we've been posting in Class 6, you've got Lee Summit North will be at Park Hill. Lee Summit North 8-0, ranked number 1. Number 2, Liberty North will be at number 9 ranked team in Class 6, Lee Summit West. Number 3, DeSmet at 7-0 will be at Edwardsville, or hosting Edwardsville, Illinois, who is 7-1. 8-0 Nixa travels. They will play Ozark, who is 1-7. Rockhurst, last night they defeated OKC Christian 33-0. Well, actually, that was a forfeit, so it's 13-0. So Rockhurst, they get their win. They're number 5 in Class 6. Number 6 in Class 6 is CBC, and they are idle at 6-2. Oak Park is at Class 5. Number 7, Oak Park, 8-0, is at Class 5. Fort Osage, who's 5-3. Number 8 ranked Jackson, 7-1, is at Class 4 Festus, who's 6-2. Number 9 Lee Summit West is at Liberty North, and number 10 Seckman, 8-0, is at Webster Groves, who's currently 3-4. In Class 5, number 1 Cardinal Ritter is at Class 6 Slough. Grain Valley is the number 2 ranked team in Class 5, and they will be hosting Raytown, who is 1-7. Number 3 ranked Jeff City Helias is at Class 6 Vianney, who is 3-6 on the season. Number 4 Lebanon at 8-0 is at Rollin. Lebanon, I believe, has already secured the Ozark Conference Championship, which may be the last Ozark Conference Championship. Rockwood Summit 8-0, and they'll be at Parkway West. Excuse me there, I had to cough a little bit, so I had to mute my mic. Webb City, also tied for 5th in Class 5, is at Branson, 4-4. Number 7 Republic, 6-2, is at Class 4 Carl Junction, who's 1-7. Number 8 St. Dominic in Class 5 will host Class 3 Westminster Christian. Number 9 Platte County, who's 6-2, they'll be at William Crispin at 4-4. And number 10, MICDS will be at Duchesne. MICDS 6-2 on the season. Duchesne is 2-6. In the receiving votes category was Camdenton will be at Glendale. Camdenton 6-2. Glendale 4-4. And in Class 4, Smithville, number 1 team ranked in Class 4, they're 7-1, and they will be at number 9 Grandview, who is 3-5 just by virtue of the games they've had to forfeit. And there have been a lot of games forfeited this year with teams and schools playing players that shouldn't have been playing. Number 2, Lutheran North, 7-1, is at St. Mary's, 1-6. Number 3, Hillsboro, 7-1, is at Class 5 Poplar Bluff, who's 5-3. Number 4, Kearney, 6-2, will host Belton, who's 5-3. Number 5, Hannibal, is 7-1, and they'll be at Class 5 Columbia Battle, who's 3-5. Class 4, number 6, Warrenton, 8-0, will be hosting Mexico, who's 2-6. Class 4, number 7, Neosho, is 7-1, and they will be hosting Class 3, number 2, Seneca, who's 8-0, and that'll be for the Big 8 West Championship. Number 8, Pleasant Hill, in Class 4, they're 7-1, and they will host Class 3 Summit Christian Academy. As I mentioned, Grandview will be hosting Smithville. Grandview, number 9 ranked, and number 10 Savannah, 6-2 on the season. They'll be at Class 3, number 6 St. Pius X, who is 6-2. In Class 3, Blair Oaks will be at Southern Boone, or hosting Southern Boone, who's number 10 ranked in Class 3. So 1 versus 10 there. We mentioned Seneca at number 2 will be at at Nevada. Number 3, Maryville. Class 3, number 3, Maryville, 7-1. Will take on Class 4, St. Joe Lafayette, who is 1-7. Class 3, number 4, Ava, now 9-0, and they defeated Class 2, Willow Springs, 73-0. Class 3, number 5, Centralia, 7-1, will host Macon, who is 0-8. Class 3, number 6, St. Pius X, will be at Class 4, number 10, Savannah. Mount Vernon comes in at number 7 in Class 3. They're 7-1. They'll be at Reed Spring, who's 6-2, and that'll be for the last Big 8 East Championship. Number 8, Odessa is 7-1, and they'll be at Harrisonville. Class 4, Harrisonville, who is 4-4. Class 3, number 9, Moberly at 7-1. They'll be at Class 4, Jefferson City, who's 4-4. And number 10, Southern Boone, will be at number 1, Blair Oaks. In Class 2, Lamar will be hosting Class 3, Hollister, who is 0-8. Lamar 7-1 on the season. Number 2, East Buchanan, 8-0, and they will host Lawson, who is 2-6. Class 2, number 3, Lafayette County, 8-0, and they'll be at Carrollton, who is 0-8. Class 2, number 4, Valley Catholic, 7-1, will be at number 3, Class 3, Kennett, who is 4-4. Number 5, Bowling Green, 8-0, will take on North Callaway, as they will host North Callaway, who is 2-6. Number 6, Adrian will take on Class 1, number 4, Tipton. Tipton coming in at 7-1. Adrian is 8-0. South Shelby, 8-0 as well, and they are number 7, and they will host Palmyra, who's 2-6. Father Tolton comes in at number 8 in Class 2. And they will be at Class 1 Fayette, who is 2-6. And number 9 in Class 2, Fairgrove, 8-0, will be hosting El Dorado Springs, 3-5. And number 10, New Madrid County, is now 8-1, and they lost to Portageville, who is Class 1, number 2, 43-0. And in Class 1, Marionville at 8-0, number 1 team in Class 1, they will be hosting Miller. Portageville is Class 1, number 2, and they defeated Class 2, number 10, New Madrid County, 43-0. Had a running back, Jamarian Smith, who rushed 27 rushes for 7 touchdowns, 437 yards in that game last night. Number 3, North Platte, 7-1. They'll be at Class 2, Lathrop, who's 3-6. Number 4, Tipton, 7-1, will be Class 2. Will be at Class 2, number 6, Adrian. And number 5, Milan, 7-1, will be hosting Maysville, who is 3-5 on the season. You're listening to High School Game Day on the Missouri Sports Network, and we'll be back to wrap it up after these messages.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy CyberCash. Visit ChevyCyberCash.com today.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey, welcome back. You're watching and listening to the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com. And, we've kind of run through some of the conference changes. We talked about, Carl, the new Ozark Mountain Conference with Carl Junction, Bolivar, Branson, West Plains is also in the new Ozark Mountain Conference, and now Parkview and Hillcrest have made their submissions to it as well. What are your thoughts there on the Ozark Mountain Conference, the new conference forming? Basically, the Big 8 East going away and taking a couple of teams out of the, actually 4 teams really, out of the Ozark Conference, with West Plains, Bolivar, Parkview, and Hillcrest leaving that conference. And then, as I mentioned, Willard was thinking of coming in, but they voted to stay in the COC, and I believe Kickapoo and Glendale have decided to at least petition the COC to join that conference. And you look at some of the that puts that conference back up at 10 teams, so they've got their full schedule as well. But you'll see a lot of Kickapoo versus West Plains, Kickapoo versus Joplin, Kickapoo versus Nixa and Ozark. The other. They'll be matching up with three of the 5 schools down here in this area. Another thing to look out for is district standings, as tonight, once these scores are entered and the formula has been updated on the websites, then you will see the results, and the district, the Week 10 schedules will be out. There'll be a lot of teams getting buys in Week 10, but who are you? Looking at maybe making a run? Is Marionville in Class 1? Do they have enough to make a run? Portageville obviously is awfully good. In Class 2 right now, it kind of begins and ends with Lamar. In Class 3 is Seneca, and we're gonna learn a lot about Seneca tonight as they take on a very good Nevada team, and they have to travel there to do it. Seneca, they're in Class 3. Mount Vernon, they've got an opportunity there in that same district. And if Mount Vernon can get a win over Reed Spring, and who's a class above, they're in the same class as Nevada, so they're going to get the same bonus points. But if they get a win and Nevada happens to knock off Seneca, how will that affect the 1 seeds there? Webb City's still the 1 seed in their Class 5 district, even though Carthage has beaten them. But with Raytown South having jumped in, via Grandview's forfeit, they've jumped into that 2-hole or that number 2 seed, and now Carthage is pushed down to number 3. They won't be allowed to jump Webb City. So lots of things happening tonight. You got softball quarterfinals tomorrow. Keep us updated, and we will do our best to keep you updated. You've been watching the Missouri Sports. You've been watching High School Game Day on the Missouri Sports Network. Everybody have a good evening. Be safe. And remember, put your seatbelt